Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So, the match has just ended, the infamous match that I'm sure will live on for years to come, and you'll keep on hearing about the scoreline till you get old. So, the match has just ended. Liverpool 7, Manchester United nil at Anfield. I I really am at a loss for words for this match. I don't understand what just happened. We were having a great season. Of course, we'll come to the season later, but I thought we were playing a good game until the first 40 minutes, or even the first half for that matter. I feel like the first goal came against the run of play. But in the second half, it felt like we just kind of laid down and let Liverpool take control of the game. See, I understand that we are still in the building phase, right? And I understand that we'll have losses. What I'm not really happy with is the performance, and in particular, the reaction. Whenever you concede a goal in football, as a football team, you always know that you're going to concede. You're going to concede one, you're going to concede two, maybe three. But when you do concede, it tests your character. And for a team that has only lost, I think, two times since November, and has had a great run of form, is probably not as used to conceding so many goals in a hostile environment like one at Anfield. And I felt like this game serves as a reminder of the complete timeline of Manchester United and where Erik ten Hag really wants to take us. But yeah, that being said, 7-0, you don't lose 7-0 to Liverpool at Anfield. Come what may. Come what may. If you're in the rebuilding phase, if you have a ton of injuries, if you've had a bad patch for years and years, if you have a manager who's about to get the sack, come what may, Manchester United can't lose 7-0 to Liverpool at Anfield. This is just not possible. This is just not pardonable. I completely don't understand how we just let Liverpool take control of the game. It's fine to give up control as well, but to concede 7. I mean, there was so much disconnect within our 11 players. I mean, you can start assigning blame, but I can't even pick out one player with whom I can say, okay, at least he tried his best. The team looked so disjointed, as if it was assembled just yesterday. It felt like Chelsea fielded their January transfers and picked out 11 players out of those and just fielded them as if they've never played together. I mean, I was so shocked. I mean, that is not how you play. Losing is fine, but the manner in which you lose a game is equally important. You have to show character. If you're 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3-0 down, you have to have that fire to say, okay, I'll pull one back. Let me not think about the 3 goals or the 4 goals that I've conceded. Let me just concentrate either to just score 1 goal and not let that affect me, or just say, okay, I've conceded 4, now let me just shut the shop now. Let me just park the bus. Just close the floodgates for about 10-15 minutes, take the control back, and probably then kick on from there. But what I did not see is character. I completely understand that we're in transition. I will not harp, on the fact of. I mean, of course, I'll mention it, but I'll not harp on the fact that we lost 7-0 to our arch rivals at their home ground. This is completely not acceptable. And what is not acceptable, more than that, is the manner of the defeat. You have to show character. You're Manchester freaking United. You take the loss with dignity. You put up a fight. You don't let the scoreline get to you. As a fan, as a supporter, of course, I'll lose my cool, but I'm not there on the field. If I'm there on the field, what I know in the here and now is the fact that I still have a chance. The clock is still ticking, and the game is 90 minutes. Eric Ten Hag has been saying this for months now. A game is 90 minutes. A game is 90 minutes, and we've been using that to our advantage, which is to say, okay, we've conceded a goal in the first 60 minutes, so let me use the next 30 to come back. But if there is no hope of winning, it does not mean that you're just standing there and waiting for the final whistle. That is not how a game is played. That is not how Manchester United plays. That is not how any team is supposed to play. You're supposed to put up a fight. It felt like they were on their training ground, and people who were completely out of form, Darwin Núñez, he could not score a goal to save his life. And he's scoring headers. He scored a brace. Cody Gakpo, I felt like this was a chance for us to show him that he made the wrong choice. And we just let him score too. He could have very easily had a hat-trick. So could Núñez. So could Salah. Bear in mind that Firmino has decided to move on. Mane is no more there. It's just Salah. So there's a new front three of Gakpo, Núñez, and Salah with Jota and Diaz. This is the first time that Liverpool played that front three, which they knew would be the future. And then we go on and we let new players find their form out of nowhere. I mean, you have to look at it from a supporter standpoint, right? I remember when Coutinho made his debut, we gifted him a great debut. He came on in some 70 minutes, affected 2 goals, and we drew 2-2 with Aston Villa. With Gerrard as the manager. Great. Wow, what a dream start. I remember when Salah was in bad form, I think 2 years ago. He came to Old Trafford and he scored 2 goals or 3 goals or something. Just 2 years ago, I think in the same match, we had a chance to kick Liverpool out of the top 4 or significantly batter their chances, but we didn't take them. We conceded 4 goals that time. And today, we had the chance to at least delay their top 4 run. And we just gave them the biggest boost that anybody could give them. I don't think any Liverpool fan or a player or support staff would have even thought about a 7-0 drubbing of Manchester United at their home ground. This is completely outrageous. I just don't understand how we could let this happen. And if you have to look internally as to what we did wrong, what we could have done better, was there a positive, bright spark in the game? It was not. There was not. There were 11 players who had completely given up. I mean, the back 6, I completely don't understand what was going on. Casemiro, I love you. I love the player that you are. You've resurrected my club. Thank you so much, but you had the worst game in a Man United jersey. Let me just say that. Casemiro, I did not know where he was. He was probably limping at the 10th minute. He should have probably gone off. But Casemiro, the way that he affects games, it shows you what happens if Casemiro is not at his best. Because it exposes the frailties that we still have in our squad. Again, this is a team that you now understand is functioning on basis of a few individual performances. Which is why I feel that the rebuild is much more prolonged than we initially thought. Marcus Rashford in attack, Bruno Fernandes as always, Casemiro in midfield, Lisandro Martinez. Those are 4 players who have been top performers for us. And today none of them played well. And now you understand what happens when they don't. De Gea always makes 1 or 2 amazing saves in a day. But today he had 0 saves. I felt like he could have saved probably 2 or 3 of those goals. And that is still me underquoting. And you understand what happens when there are individual suboptimal performances. This is not a systemically good team. It's an individually driven good team, which is bound to fail, which happened today. I mean, I completely understand that we're in a rebuild and it'll take time, but still, you don't lose 7-0 to Liverpool, no matter where you are. I mean, I have so much respect for Eric Ten Hag. I have so much respect. But I felt like one thing that even Paul Scholes and Michael Owen were talking about, and Paul Scholes made a very good point, that he probably does not understand the gravity of a Liverpool game, Liverpool away game. I remember when we lost 4 or 5-0 at home, Roy Keane even made a statement saying, when we went to Liverpool or when we were hosting Liverpool, we respected the opponent. And sometimes we took a draw. But Eric Ten Hag, in his heart of hearts, believed that he could trounce Jurgen Klopp and his Liverpool, which I completely respect him for. But it didn't really pan out as the way that he thought it would. This is such a shock. I was just sitting there on the couch. I was just thinking, what is happening right now? It felt like after the 60th or the 70th minute, the players just felt like they just wanted to leave. But you can't leave the pitch. A game is 90 minutes. A game is 90 minutes, and it's a privilege to play for Manchester United. No matter what is the scoreline. It is your duty. It's not just your job. It's your duty to leave everything out on the pitch once the final whistle happens. But it felt like the players were just waiting for the whistle and let Salah pass them. There were 5v3, there was 5v4, 4v4. How can that happen? When you're already 5-0 down, I understand you want to attack. But you have to be more practical, you have to be more realistic. I hate to use the word pragmatism because it has had a negative connotation ever since Jose Mourinho. But I'll tell you what, Jose Mourinho still knows probably 2 things more than the other managers. Jose Mourinho has seen everything, and there's a reason why he insists on pragmatism. And I feel like this is the time where Eric Ten Hag learns about it. And make no mistake, I'm completely in favor of Eric Ten Hag. I'm so glad that he joined our club, and the way that he's resurrected, I felt like he's done the job in 6 months or 7 months that any other manager would have taken probably 2 years, and other managers would have not even lasted that long because the rebuild was so massive. Ralph Ranick told us that this club needs open heart surgery, and he was absolutely spot on. But this is really tough to take. This is very, very tough to take, guys. I mean, Bruno Fernandes is a big part of Manchester United going forward. And just because he's so skilled, he's versatile. And because he's versatile, he has had to move positions from his number 10 free roaming role. He's had to go to the right to accommodate Weghorst. And today, for some reason, he played on the left so that Rashford could play up. Weghorst could play at number 10 and Anthony could play on the right. See, I'm all in for Wout Weghorst. I feel like there is certainly a role that he could play for us. But what he gives to the team isn't as valuable to say that Bruno now has to shift probably and has to probably have a dip in his productivity. You have to play Bruno in the number 10, and you have four proper wingers. Rashford, you have Garnacho, you have Sancho, and you have Anthony. I'm sure you can play two proper wingers. I mean, see, I don't want to, although I'm doing that, I don't want to heap on, suggestions. And of course, hindsight is the biggest luxury in the world, and we can all sit and talk about tactics, But this is just not done, guys. It's a game that we've all looked forward to for weeks, for months, and it was a chance for us to really make a statement, and we failed massively. It's a bit difficult for me to kind of let that go and think about the bigger picture, but I would have been fine even if we would have lost 2-1 or 3-2 or something. We lost at Arsenal 3-2. We lost in extra time. And I was still fine with it because I still believe that we were the better team on the day. But this is not how you lose. Okay, now, kind of moving on. I think we're still having a great season. We're still having a great season. There's Celta Vigo to host during midweek, and there's Southampton at home. So 2 back-to-back home games. I know that I've harped about this very game for the last few minutes now, but I hope that the Manchester United squad can learn from this and not be too hung up on the loss. Because there's still two huge cup runs to go for. A title race pretty much seems out of contention at this point. But a solid third position that we have to gun for. And of course, the scorecard would keep bringing in our years to come. But we have to let that go. At least the players have to let that go, because games are coming thick and fast. So yeah, it was a tough loss to take. It's not easy with all the banter, of course. But yeah, we're still in the third position. We are still the only club in England to have won a trophy. Probably in Europe, I don't care, but at least in England, we still have a trophy on our with our next to our name, and I'm still very happy with the season. It's just like a shock. I felt like we left all of those records behind, right? The ones that you used to hear under Oli and Ranić. This is the worst loss since 50, 60 years. This is the first time United have lost at a stadium since 40 years. But it's quite appalling to see a loss as bad as it was in 1926, 29, 30. That really stings. But yeah, let's not let this game cloud our overall season. There's still a long season to go. I still believe in Erik Ten Hag. I still believe that we have another trophy left in us. And if I know Ten Hag, yes, and if I know Ten Hag, he'll only use this defeat as something to propel us even further. So I'm still very positive about my club this season. We are still in the middle of a huge rebuild, and I'm sure we'll get back to the heights that we were at once. So yes, that was the video. Thank you so much. If you're still watching till this point, I can't thank you enough for watching this all the way. Of course, this is my first video. I've been doing a few podcasts. It was all in an audio format, but this is the first proper video that I've shot. So thank you so much. If there's any suggestions, thoughts, feedback, please drop it down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to read it. And again, thanks so much for your support. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day.